Not to anybody's surprise, but the mental health community and, the associations of psychiatry, and I'm not saying the people at the bedside, but the experts all have been, for years now, have been writing papers about the personality type and how the people that believe in conspiracy theories are depressed and they need to create, this lie around them. So let's just look at the facts, because while the associations and experts of medicine and nursing and mental health want to carry on about diversity, equity, and inclusion and not being racist, they fail to recognize how even their industries were involved in conspiracies. 11 unbelievable conspiracy theories that were actually true. Yes. And what shocks me is how the mental health community writes about the personality type of people that believe in conspiracies or say that they're depressed or anxiety filled. And no, it's people that want the truth. And so when things don't add up, then people naturally think they're being lied to. And here's some major ones. Tuskegee syphilis experiment that went on for decades. Bill Clinton had to come out after the science had been using black people and was injecting them they were experimenting on them for like 40 years. So before the mental health community experts at the associations and organizations want to write any more papers, or Dr. Phil wants to carry on about that people that believe in conspiracy theories are depressed, you might want to remember your own history. MK Ultra, that would be another one that would be important for mental health to remember. These were all things that were disclosed. They were declassified. MK Ultra, here, for those that don't know, I think enough people know about MK Ultra. I mean, you can look up the hearings on it, the congressional hearings. But for years it was said that it was a conspiracy. And this word conspiracy theories came out because people questioned JFK's assassination, and for good reason. They still haven't disclosed all of that, right? Trump's willing to have it all disclosed when he gets in office. And by the way, for the Tuskegee syphilis experiments, that was 400 men that was done to. They were given dangerous chemicals and offered painful and unnecessary medical procedures under the guise of actual treatment. So for you mental health and you medical experts at the top, please remember your history, have some insight, show some actual being of solid, sound mind. MK Ultra. In the 1950s, it's the 1950s, and communist spies were everywhere. The Cold War is heating up, and it looks as though the Soviet Union might gain the upper hand on American democracy. What would you do? With the hopes of discovering a truth serum, the CIA decided they needed to secretly dose unwitting U.S. and Canadian citizens with LSD and then interrogate and occasionally torture participants. The CIA paid hospitals, prisons, and universities for their participation and their silence. In 1973, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered that all documents related to MK Ultra be destroyed. While the conspiracy was eventually uncovered, nobody involved in the project remembered the details, and a complete timeline of events remains incomplete. The 1990 testimony of Naraya, this one I didn't know about. In October of 1990, a 15-year-old girl named Naraya offered testimony to the U.S. Congress stating that she had witnessed Iraqi soldiers taking 15 Kuwaiti babies out of incubators and leaving them on the floor to die. This testimony aired on about 700 television stations throughout the United States. President George Bush Sr. repeated the story at least 10 times in the following weeks in an attempt to sway public opinion towards supporting the Gulf War. The problem is that the events described by Nariah were complete fabrication. The CIA requested that Nariah receive acting lessons before she testified. It was also discovered that Nariah was the daughter of the Kuwaiti ambassador to the U.S. who worked with the Kuwaiti government to promote U.S. involvement in the Gulf War. In response to these findings, Amnesty International accused Bush administration of opportunistic manipulation of the international human rights movement. So Operation Snow White, Church of Scientology. I've mentioned before on my other channel, my grandmother hated Scientology because that's going way back before they were very big. She wanted L. Ron Hubbard murdered. She did, because they were shaking my grandfather down. They followed them from Illinois all the way to California and continued to harass them. So Operation Snow White, the Church of Scientology versus the U.S. government. During the 1970s, 5,000 covert agents from L. Ron Hubbard's Church of Scientology conspired to perform the largest infiltration of the U.S. government in American history. The church infiltrated 136 organizations, including the IRS, the DEA, foreign embassies, and other government agencies. They installed wiretaps and stole hundreds of documents with the hopes of protecting their church and from paying millions of dollars in taxes. The U.S. government fought back. In July 1977, the FBI organized a raid of various Scientology locations involving 156 agents. The raid uncovered the group's illegal actions against the government as well as additional conspiracies against other perceived enemies of the church. On December 6, 1979, Operation Snow White ended when Mary Sue Hubbard, wife of L. Ron Hubbard, and 10 other high-ranking Scientologists received 5-year prison sentences. L. Ron Hubbard remained on the unindicted co-conspirator and spent the rest of his life in hiding. And then people know about the CIA assassinations. And let's see what else. The business plot of fascism in America. And for those that don't know, one of the most important ones, this number 8 here, that's the FBI. That was all about how they infiltrate groups. Most people know of number 8. Operation Mockingbird. Yeah, this is what is an important one to know. The CIA propaganda machine, because that's what you still see play out. In 1948, Frank Wisner was an appointed director of the Office of Special Projects and was told to create an organization that was capable of producing propaganda and engaging in economic warfare as part of the global war against Soviet communism. The CIA took control of the office in the 1950s and maintains a secret campaign to influence media around the world for almost 25 years. So, yeah. I mean, do you notice a pattern here? It's all your intelligence agencies involved in this, and science, and medicine. I'm not saying it still goes on today, but for any of these experts in mental health to be writing about what's wrong with the people that believe in conspiracy theorists, well, I don't believe in everything. I don't, like, for people that say we didn't go to the moon, no, I believe we went to the moon, because my uncle made the box the moon rocks came back in. Yeah, he used to display it in his waiting room. He had a Shield magnetic company. So, but there's many people that don't believe. There's many people that believe it's a flat earth, all of that, okay? There's some I don't. But for the simple ones here, how the media has been lying, what went on during 2020 and COVID, there were such red flags that for none of the medical community that write all their expert papers to be able to figure that out shows how shameful they are. And then this is the last 3 of the 11. Operation Paperclip, that was declassified. It was our intelligence agencies, the people that were involved in the Holocaust, the doctors and the scientists didn't face justice like they should have. They were snuck into other countries, mainly the U.S., to continue their scientific research. Declassified. Operation Northwoods was about how to wage war on Cuba. Luckily, JFK was able to stop that before it happened. Bohemian Grove. the rich, the powerful, and the giant stone owl. That is absolutely true. All has been proven. So for any medical expert to be writing papers about what's wrong with people that believe in conspiracy theories, please take a moment and look within yourself, because you need to do some self-reflection. I'm saying that as a psych.